All right, let's talk about something we use every single day, but maybe don't think about too much: the humble hyperlink. I mean, this little piece of code is basically the glue that holds the entire internet together. Today, we're going to tear it down and see what makes it tick.
You've done it 1,000 times, right? You click on some text, and boom, you're on a whole new page, maybe even a whole new website. But have you ever stopped to think about what's actually happening under the hood? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into.
So at its most basic, a hyperlink is just an instruction. It's built using what's called an A tag. That stands for anchor, and its only job, really, is to act like the web's connective tissue. It's what lets us jump from point A to point B.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the anatomy of a link. Then we'll check out all the different kinds of links you can make. After that, we'll see how to power up our links with some extra features. And we'll wrap up with something super important: how to make sure our links are modern and secure.
All right, first up, the anatomy of an HTML link. Let's break this thing down to its core building blocks. You'll see it's actually way simpler than you might think.
Okay, take a look at this. This right here, this is the blueprint for literally every single link on the internet. You've got your A tag, you've got this href thing, which is the destination, and then you've got the actual words you click on. Let's pull these pieces apart.
So it's really just 3 simple parts. First, you've got the opening and closing A tags that just wrap the whole thing. Then, and this is the important part, you have the href attribute. That stands for hypertext reference, and it's basically the address. It tells the browser where to go. And finally, you have the link text. That's the visible, clickable part that the user actually sees.
And you know these colors, right? You've seen them a million times. It's almost instinctual. By default, browsers give us these little visual hints. Blue means, hey, I'm new, you haven't been here before. Purple means you've visited this place. And that quick flash of red is the active state, right when you click. It's like a universal language for getting around the web. Okay, so we know what a link looks like. But here's where it gets really cool. That simple A tag is an absolute workhorse. It can do so much more than just send you to another website. Let's explore all the different kinds of links you can build. First up, the one everyone knows, the external link. This is when you point to a totally different website, like Google. You just pop in the full URL, and you're good to go.
Next, we have internal links. These are for navigating around inside your own website. Instead of a full URL, you just give it a relative path, like about.html. The browser knows to look for that file right here, on the same server.
This one's super useful. You can actually use a link to jump around on the same page. Imagine a long Wikipedia article with a table of contents at the top. When you click a section, it zips you right down the page. That's done with a hashtag and an ID. Super simple, super effective.
And get this, the A tag can even talk to other applications on your computer. If you start the href with mail to, clicking that link will fire up the user's default email program already pre-filled with the recipient's address. Pretty cool, huh?
And for anyone on a phone, this is an absolute game changer. By using tell and then a phone number, you create a click-to-call link. One tap and it opens up their phone's dialer with the number already punched in. So convenient.
Okay, so we've covered the different types of links, but now it's time to power them up. We can add these little extra instructions, called attributes, to the A tag to get way more control over what a link actually does. So, besides the href we already know, there are a few other really key attributes. Target is a big one. It decides where the link opens. Title gives you those little tooltips when you hover your mouse over a link. Download completely changes the game and makes a link save a file instead of opening it. And then there's rel, which stands for relationship, and we'll see in a bit why that one is so important for security.
You've seen this a million times. You click a link, and instead of taking over your current tab, it pops open in a brand new one. Well, that magic is just one little attribute, target set to _blank. It's perfect for sending people to external sites without making them lose their place on your page.
Here's another really cool one. Let's say you have a link to a PDF file. Normally, when you click it, the PDF opens right there in your browser. But what if you just want the user to save it? Easy. Just add the download attribute. That simple addition tells the browser, hey, don't open this. Just start the download process. All right, this brings us to our last section. And honestly, it might be the most important one. We're talking about modern, secure linking. You see, as the web got more complex with HTML5, we realized there were some security risks with the old way of doing things, and we had to adapt to protect people.
So check this out. On the left, you see the old way we used to make a link open in a new tab. Simple, target equals blank. But on the right is the new way, the modern, secure way. Notice that little addition? Rel equals no opener, no referrer. It might not look like much, but trust me, adding that one little piece of code plugs a huge potential security hole.
And let me be super clear about this. This is not just a nice to have. This is a you absolutely must do this kind of thing. Anytime, and I mean anytime, you use target_blank, you have to include these rel attributes. It's just a fundamental part of modern, responsible web development.
So what is this stuff actually doing? Well, no opener is the big one for security. Without it, the new tab you just opened could actually reach back and control the original tab. Think about that. A malicious site could secretly change the page you came from into a fake login page. No opener basically slams that door shut. It severs the connection, so the new tab has no power over the old one.
And then there's no referrer. This one is all about privacy. Normally, when you click a link, the new site gets a little piece of information telling it where you came from. No referrer just tells the browser, hey, don't send that information. It keeps the user's browsing path a little more private.
So let's just step back and see what we've covered. We've totally dissected the anatomy of a link. We've seen how to create links for all sorts of different purposes. And most importantly, you now know how to make those links safe and secure. Seriously, this is one of the absolute bedrock skills for building anything on the web. Isn't it kind of wild that this one simple tag, the A tag, is the foundation for the entire, sprawling, interconnected web? So now you know how to build those connections. You have the keys. The only question is, what are you going to link together first?